Okay, we're good. Good evening. It's not even afternoon, it's evening
Good
already.
afternoon, good evening, good morning.
Yeah, good evening. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is the Lee Virtual Schools information session. In this discussion this evening, we're going to walk you through Lee Virtual. We are a public school in Lee County, but we're going to walk you through our processes and procedures and just really give you a nice big picture lay of the land for how our school operates and why students in our school are as successful as they are. We've got some really nice tips of the trade and hidden secrets that make students with Lee Virtual School really soar and academically progress. Sitting around this table this evening, I am Meredith Berry. I am an assistant principal with Lee Virtual School. I'll hand it on over to the gal next to me.
Good evening, I'm Marty Iovine. I am also an assistant principal here with Ms. Berry here at Lee Virtual School.
And I am Cynthia Vasquez. I am their secretary. And I help around in the office.
And we are actually, we are sitting in the Lee Virtual office. As a virtual school, we are located in the Lee County Public Education Center on Colonial Boulevard. So when you come to that building, it's a rather large parking lot. If you drive around to the east side of the building, you will see the entrance for Lee Virtual School. So we're housed right there. As a virtual school, pretty much in the office every day is really the three of us and our school counselors, a few other secretarial clerk type of staff, that our test coordinator, a couple of our tech fellas. It's a pretty slim crew around here that reports day to day, but we do report from the office. Our teachers, we've got approximately 40-ish teachers. They do work from their home setting. So they do work Monday through Friday. They keep a schedule of availability from 8 in the morning through 8 in the evening. They do not work 8 to 8. They work their traditional 7.5 hours during the day, scattering them out. But they are required to have a variety of availability to work with students in the morning if necessary, as well as into the evening as necessary too. But they do work from home. They do communicate through cell phone, texting, emailing, and we do some Zoom meetings online as well. So those ladies and gentlemen, we do not see in person every day, but we do communicate with them quite a bit every day anyway. I am going to jump into the learning management systems that Lee Virtual uses. I will absolutely periodically stop and debrief and give everybody a chance to be able to address some questions. So if you do start to have some questions, if you want to just pop them into the chat box, that starts to get the list going. And like I said, I'll talk for just a little bit and then I'll pause, I'll address questions, and then I'll keep going. This is my 11th or 12th year with Lee Virtual School. So I've got a few info sessions under my belt. I pretty much know what you're gonna ask. And I definitely know what I want to convey. So I feel good that it's going to be a nice interactive discussion tonight and that you will walk away from this session with much clearer perspective of Lee Virtual School. I would, however, highly encourage you, if your student is available, please have them join you for this. Lee Virtual School is a student independently working school. The student is the one who's doing the work. It all falls on the student. And it's just a lot easier if the student can hear about Lee Virtual right from my mouth, right from Dr. Iovine, right from Ms. Vasquez. It's just a lot easier so that you don't have to relay information and try to remember how I said it or what I said. Yeah, if your student's interested in Lee Virtual and you can have them be a part of this discussion, it really, really would do them well. And of course, in Lee Virtual School, we rely on our students being, finding their voice, self-advocating for themselves. You know, we're not looking at our students all day long. We don't know when they need help. We rely on our students reaching out to us for help. So that starts tonight. So if your student is available and can be a part of this discussion and can initiate those questions, that is a good sign that your student will be successful with Lee Virtual. Because again, in our world, the teachers talk directly to the student. If I have for example, if I have a parent call me and they have a question, they'll say, I'm sitting next to my daughter, Joan, and she's not really sure how to find lesson 1.04. I'm gonna say, either put Joan on the phone or put me on speaker, because I need to have that engagement with Joan so that Joan can start to develop her voice, and that I know that I'm teaching her how to find the resources that she needs. So yep, if you've got your child available, please have them join this conversation, and they are more than welcome to type questions in the chat box as well. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, so bear with me just 1 second.
And let me ask also, since we do have a small group, maybe the students can introduce themselves. I'd love to see who we have there. So I think we have maybe about 5 or 6 students.
Grade level 2.
Yes.
This back up again. So I mean, if anyone wants to go ahead and start with an introduction for a small group, if you're comfortable enough.
It looks like they're still muted. If you can just tell us your name, the students, if you can tell us your name and what grade you're in.
Yeah, if you would like to go first, you can raise your hand and then I'll ask to unmute. If it works. Everyone kind of shy tonight. It's okay. We can see your faces. Okay, we'll let it go today.
Well, for now,
Yeah.
I'm making an assumption that we've got a variety of students. We've got elementary, we've got middle, and we've got high school, because as a school, we are a kindergarten through 12th grade school. So I'll be tailoring my discussion to the entire group, K through 12. So here I go.
Share your screen.
I will again.
Okay. Just want to make sure they can see the screen and not us.
Okay, so in Lee Virtual School, again, we are a public school in Lee County. We follow all of the district assessments for iReady, for progress monitoring, for STAR testing, as well as all the state assessments as well. Our students graduate with a full graduation high school diploma. We are a public school. We abide by the public school calendar. At the end of the semester, our students earn credits. Again, we are a public school. Our students just happen to spend most of their time at home, but there are moments when we do absolutely need to see your student, and that would be during state testing in the springtime. And our students all take part in spring testing right here in our office. So at the Lee County Public Education Center, our students come into this building and take part in their state testing. So while as a public school, your student would be remaining in the home setting for the majority of the school year, there are moments when we do need to see their lovely faces in our building. Lee Virtual School, we are not Lee Home Connect. And I know that our community really got used to Lee Home Connect, and a lot of students really enjoyed that learning format, really felt that utilizing a Zoom session meeting with their teachers, live every day, and accessing their Google Doc, their courses and their assignments through Google Classroom really worked well for them. And I agree, it did. It did really work well for many, many kiddos in our community. Lee Virtual School, however, is nothing like Lee Home Connect in no way, shape, or form. Remember, we've been around for 12 years. We've been doing this for 12 years. Successfully, yes. 12 years ago, they didn't have Google Classroom. So we have had to create our own learning management systems, find ourselves with curriculum providers to offer our courses and our services. So the first thing I would want you and your student to know is this is nothing like Lee Home Connect. It's better.
Yes.
So Lee Virtual School, we utilize 4 different learning management systems. And what I mean by that is we get our curriculum and our courses through 4 different means. So when a student registers with us, they're accessing their courses through potentially 4 different platforms. So each day, they're going to log into one platform, and that platform, they might complete their language arts and their math and their science course. But they might jump into another learning management platform, and on that one, they might complete their elective class, maybe a photography class, maybe an art class. Or they might jump into another platform and do their iReady if they're elementary or middle. Or they might jump over into their learning strategies course where they might utilize more of that Google Classroom type of a format. So in our world, our students quickly learn how to navigate those 4 different systems. And on those 4 different systems, they each have their own processes and procedures. You're looking at a screen right now that's labeled Buzz. It's also known as eDynamics. This is one of the learning management systems that we use right here. So this system is one for courses that are like our electives, like photography and criminal justice and personal and family finance. When students log into this particular management system, all of the course content is available in front of them. They log into a course, they read the course, and then they complete assignments. They can call their instructor if they need support, but they're mostly doing everything through reading and activities. The other management system that we utilize is a Florida virtual system. You probably have heard that Lee Virtual is a franchise of Florida Virtual, and that is absolutely correct. Meaning, most of our curriculum we buy from Florida Virtual School. And we do that because all of these courses are 100% aligned with the Department of Education standards. Now, eDynamics courses are too, but Florida Virtual courses, they've been around for many, many, many years, and we know that they have a system of ensuring that all their courses are regularly updated to meet the needs of our students. So the majority of our courses come from this platform. So I'm just going to log in real quick. And I'm just going to give you a quick little visual. Of this. Okay. Again, can you raise it up? When our students log into their Florida virtual courses, they come to their dashboard, and when they scroll down on their dashboard, they will see their courses are listed. And they log into their course where they access the content, they read the material, and then they submit their work, and then they call their teacher if they need support. You will notice that at the elementary level, kindergarten through 5th grade, all kindergarten through 5th grade will have 4 classes. Those are the 4 core. So every single kindergarten through 5th grade student completes language arts, math, science, and social studies. Now you might be thinking, what about specials? We can work with you to schedule your student for specials. Again, they would be on this website. They'd be located on this website. Elementary students who are registered with Lee Virtual are not permitted to take part in specials at a brick and mortar school. So if you are a Lee Virtual student, all of your classes are with Lee Virtual instructors. We're not able to have you go to a local elementary school to be able to take part in their PE course or their art course. So elementary students, again, 4 classes, language arts, math, science, social studies, and then the various specials that we can talk about your student registering for. At the middle school and high school level, our students all register for 6 courses. Now, your student might be thinking, 6? That's a piece of cake. I got 8 right now. Are you kidding me? You would do 6 courses with us. Now remember, these are reading-based courses. So when you log in, you are reading, you are self-teaching, and you're contacting your teacher when you need help. So we don't ever recommend a student take more than 6 courses. 6 courses will fill your plate sufficiently. More than 6, your head's gonna explode. So we wanna give you 6 classes. So I'm gonna take you now into some of the classes so that you can see, get a snapshot of what they look like. Now keep in mind, I might show you a course that's high school, but the outline of it and the format of it is the same, whether it's a middle or even an elementary school course. So we're just gonna jump on in here and let's take a look at, we'll look at 8th grade language arts. So when we go into the course, the very first thing that we see is the teacher's announcement page. Every course, whether it's on Florida Virtual or it's on eDynamics, always starts with the teacher announcement page. And this announcement page is full of resources. And we teach students to look at this announcement page every time they log in. We want them to learn how to access resources. Look, we live in a world where you don't really need to memorize everything, but you need to know where to go to get your hands on the information. So this is really chock full of all sorts of resources for students.
And it's
Important to note too that
every teacher's announcement page is very similar. So the layout is all the same. Yep, it's a template. Mhm.
At the bottom are all these important links. This is where you're going to find study guides. In our world, note-taking is mega important. It's mega important. But we know kids struggle with taking notes. We know that it's hard to figure out what your style is for note-taking. It's hard to know what's important. It's hard to know what I should write down. It's hard to know how to organize it. We know that. So you will find that all of our courses come with study guides and note-taking guides. And students are highly encouraged to look at these, to download them, to use them, because we want them to be successful. We don't want you to struggle, but we want you to know where to get the resources to help you learn. So here's an example of a study guide, giving you the major features of this particular module or this very first section of the course, and then walking you through some of the important topics to answer that question. Some students will print these guides out because they want that piece of paper. Other students will just simply save these into their Google document and access them whenever they're ready. But every course comes with very comprehensive notes for students to use. Also in our world, students, you can use notes on everything. You can use your notes when you're doing your assignments. You can use your notes when you're having your discussion-based assessments. You can use your notes when you're taking your exams. We are okay. We want you to use those notes. Also on your announcement page, you will see your teacher's personal phone number. We want students to call their teachers. We want you to communicate. We want you to plug their name and phone number into your phone and feel comfortable with reaching out to them when you need support. Again, we're not mind readers, so we need students to be willing to take the risk, build the confidence to give us a call and let us know when you need help. We know that you're going to struggle, and that's okay. We're human. Every day we struggle. Every day we learn. Every day we make a mistake. You've got someone there to help you. You don't have to suffer in silence. Also on your website, on each teacher's website, they have something called book appointment. Sometimes you know that you need to spend a little bit more time with your teacher than maybe just a quick 2 or 3 minute phone call. Maybe you need like 10 minutes or 20 minutes because you're going to really get in depth and talk about a subject or talk about a topic. You can make an appointment where you're scheduling a time for a teacher to call you and talk. We also have resources for actual Zoom sessions that you can take part in. You will notice that we have live lessons and we have office hours. Let's talk about live lessons for a second. Live lessons are Zoom meetings, and those Zoom meetings are about a very specific topic. So for example, if in your English language arts course, you are learning how to write a 5-paragraph essay, and you're going to have lessons on a 5-paragraph essay, and you're going to be expected to turn in a rough draft of a 5-paragraph essay, your teacher may have a live lesson where she talks in person through Zoom about the 5-paragraph essay. And you log into Zoom and you can now have an additional time with the teacher to learn about that 5-paragraph essay. There are also other students who are taking part in that lesson as well. Teachers also have something called office hours. This is kind of like homework help. It's a time where if you need just a little extra support, you've got a question on something, but you don't really want to have to call the teacher. You don't really want to have to make an appointment with the teacher. You just want to hop in through a Zoom meeting and get your questions answered. That's called open office hours. And those are also another time for kids to be able to jump in and get some support. So I've been yakking for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to pause here and we're going to jump over to the chat box and see if we've got any questions in the chat box that we want to address before I move on and discuss pacing. Miss Cynthia, we got anything going on over there to address?
I do not see anything. I did have a question from a parent earlier asking, is this the place of an existing student can ask questions, or should she just call the school tomorrow?
Well, why don't you type your question in the chat box and we'll see what we can help you.
So why wait till tomorrow when you can ask today?
How
She may have,
how we know about
I think she jumped off already. I think she left us already.
How do we know about
unexcused? How it is the absences. Oh, actually, that's a perfect segue for what I'm about to do. Oh my word, it's like my driving here.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad you asked that question. It's exactly where I'm going next. Right before I jump over there, though, is there anything else that's hot right here, right now?
Or any questions so far about what you've seen?
Okay, then I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna address that question. So as a public school in Lee County, we have to monitor student attendance. So just like if you were going to Dunbar High School, they would take attendance every day if you were there or not. We have to take attendance as well. Our attendance just looks a little different. Our attendance is based on something called PACE. PACE is the rate with which you complete your course. Now, students might be thinking, how do I know what to turn in? How do I know what assignments are due? That's called a PACE chart. Every class comes with a PACE chart. So I'm going to open up semester one's PACE chart. You will see every teacher's PACE chart has three very important columns. The first column is the week number. So week 0 would be the very first week of school. You will see the second column are all of the lessons or all of the assignments that the student is expected to do. And the third column is the due date. These assignments were all due by August the 13th. The teacher, it doesn't matter what day the student does these assignments. It doesn't matter what time of the day the student does these assignments. It does matter that they are all complete by Friday, August the 13th. So any student who is in this 8th grade language arts course was expected to turn in to do these checks here at the top, and then also to complete 1.00 and 1.01 by Friday, August 13th at 4 o'clock. As long as all of those assignments were done by Friday, August 13th at 4 o'clock, the student is considered to be perfect attendance. If those assignments are not turned in by Friday, August 13th at 4 o'clock, the student is considered absent. So it's very cut and dry for us. You turn in the assignments that were due that week, perfect attendance. You don't turn in the assignments, you're absent. So as we scroll down through this PACE chart, you will see each week we're averaging somewhere around 2 or 3 assignments due each week. As I keep going. So let's do the math for a second here. If I'm an 8th grader and I have 6 courses and I'm already seeing that in one of my courses, I'm going to turn in at least 2 assignments per week, I can anticipate 2 assignments per week times 6 courses. I can average approximately or a minimum of 12 assignments every week. Just let that sink in for a second. When you get to this middle school and high school level students, you have 6 classes, you're averaging about 2 assignments per course per week. So that's somewhere around 12 assignments, maybe a few more, maybe a few less. So up through this week, which is October the 22nd, this student will be working in order, submitting the assignments as they come each week. And so by the end of this week, the student will have turned in assignment 2.09. Whoop, it was exempted. Congratulations. They don't have to do 2.09. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But they do have to do 2.10. So this student, to be in attendance, should be, as of Friday, have every assignment turned in up through 2.10. The PACE chart takes all the guesswork out of it. You never have to wonder what's due every week. You just follow the PACE chart. It tells you. And many students will print the PACE chart, and as they turn in their assignments, they'll cross it off their PACE chart. I'm one of those list nerds. I love making a list, but I love crossing stuff off my list even more. So if it were me, I would totally print all these PACE charts and then like every week, cross stuff off my list as I was moving along. It's just a great feeling of accomplishment to go from seeing that all of this is due and that you're whittling it away 1 week at a time. I'm going to scroll down to the end of this page chart because I want you to see that the entire semester's worth of work is laid out in front of you. You are not waiting for work to be opened up or unveiled to you or given permission to. It's all right here in front of you, which many students love in Lead Virtual because they like to work ahead of pace. It is possible that you can be mastering your content, submitting your assignments, and you can be ahead of pace. And we love that. We love, 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 love that. So if you're a student who just wants to move and groove, get in there, get those assignments done, and you want to finish the semester early, we're the place for you. Absolutely, you can do that. Notice we end our pace chart on December 17th. Now you're probably thinking, the semester doesn't end until January 7. So why would you have all of your assignments due in December? Well, we do that because we know that after December 17th, all students are going to go on a 2-week winter break. So are the teachers. Our teachers will not work during that winter break. So therefore, they're not grading assignments. And we want our kids to take a break. You just got done working really hard. We want you to turn it off and enjoy it. And then that week that we come back to school, the week of January 2nd, that week, if you have all of your assignments done, you're still on break. You now have a 3-week winter break. So we push our students to finish early so that they can have a little bit of a longer break. And then of course, semester 2 would start on January the 12th. So again, this is pacing. This is also attendance. Now let's take a look at the grade book for a second. So we know that as of Friday, in this course, the students should be done up through 2.10. So let's jump into the grade book. Parents, you're gonna love the grade book. You're gonna love it, love it, love it. I always tell families, the grade book never lies. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful. But you know how sometimes with focus, teachers might post a grade, and then the student might turn in the assignment again, and it could take a couple days before that grade gets updated. Well, that's not how it works for us. The grade book is live. As soon as a student turns an assignment in, it captures the information, the day and the time that it was submitted. So all of our assignments are in order according to the pace chart. Students submit their work right here in the grade book. This is where you submit assignments, right here. So if I click on this one, you'll see my mouse is being a little wonky here. Let me do it this way. Come on, come on. There it goes. You will see that this happened to be a multiple choice. So the student completed and then submits it and the grade appears. Notice something here at the top. Remember how I said in Lead Virtual School, we are okay with mistakes? We're okay with the learning curve? This is what I'm talking about. Our assignments can be resubmitted for a better grade. So if your student turns in an assignment the first time and then maybe talks to the teacher, gets a little bit more feedback, they have the ability to resubmit it again. And that's because we're going for mastery learning here. We want mastery learning. So we're not giving permission for a student to just to submit willy-nilly the first time, but we are wanting students to learn from their mistakes and resubmit for that better grade. Now, the question in the chat box right now is talking about a parent account or a parent login, or what is the difference between a parent account? What do you see with your parent account? And that's a great question. A parent account looks identical to a student account. All of the information is immediately live and it jives. There is no delay. So the parent of this particular student, the gradebook that I'm looking at, could log into their account, which would connect them to this exact gradebook where they would see that the student on the exact day and time that the student is submitting work. This right here is vital for us to know that a student is working consistently. We should see where every week, that student is turning in multiple assignments, all according to their pace chart. So this tells us the exact day and time that student was working. Notice this student worked in the morning on August the 14th at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then worked at 1:30 in the afternoon, and then worked at 2:30 in the afternoon. Again, I don't care what time of day this student is working. That's for the family to focus on. You make that schedule in your own home. But I do want to make sure that the student is submitting work every week. This is exactly what a parent account looks like. Exactly. So we know that this pace chart says the student by Friday at 4 o'clock should have up through 2.10 turned in. So this young man has tomorrow, well, the rest of today, tomorrow, and Friday to get that assignment turned in, and he would be considered to have perfect attendance. He would consider to be in attendance.
For this course.
For this course. Thank you, Cynthia, for this course. Now, we got any students who are joining us? I'm going to take your eye to the top of this screen to show you one thing. I want you to see right here. This is considered segment 1, which is semester 1, which has a total of 35 assignments. So if you're an 8th grader and you're taking language arts, you can anticipate to turn in 35 assignments during first semester alone. So it gives you kind of that grand total big picture idea of how many are expected. So this is a middle school course. You can see how this is laid out. We go to the lessons and you'll be able to see all of the assignments are lessons are right here in front of you, and you simply work in order. Here's all of the lessons. You follow that according to your pace chart. I'll just click on one of them. Again, it's important for students to see this is not live instruction. This is reading. So the student's going to read the page, do whatever the activities are on the page, and move to the next page. They're going to read the activities, do the lessons. Notice this one happens to be a total of 14 pages. They're going to do each page individually. Reading, doing whatever activities there are. Looks like this one's got a short little clip for a student. Moving all the way through page by page. This has got an activity on this particular. And when we get to the very end, I'm just going to skip to the end real quick. This is where, what is my assignment? It's always clearly laid out at the end. Whether you're in eDynamics or you are in a Florida virtual platform, it's very clear. This is where your assignment is. It tells you, number one, you got to read the lesson, do the activities, complete the graphic organizer, and ultimately you're going to submit 1.05. Again, go back to the gradebook, and that's where you turn your work in. When this student is done working, they can just toggle up over here and jump to another course. So maybe I work for a good 45 minutes in my language arts. I walk away from the computer, I go take a break, maybe I go walk the dog, do a quick walk around the house, go shoot some hoops, just kind of lay low for about 15 minutes, let my brain settle out, come back to my computer, and now I'm ready. I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump into maybe another class here. This is a high school course. So we do allow our middle school students to take high school courses when appropriate. And again, the layout is the same. We see Mrs. Kovaric's picture, we see her information, we can see her contact or her pace chart there. There's her information about her live lesson schedules, and all of her important links are at the bottom where she's got all of her study guides, all of her notes and resources. It's all right here for every student. Every course looks the same, just like that. Bear with me for a second because now you've seen a middle and a high school, and it's important that if we have any elementary families out there that you see an elementary one. So just bear with me for a second, and I'm gonna pop over and we're gonna take a look at an elementary kiddo. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. While I do this, Miss Cynthia, have any questions in the chat box that we can address as a team?
Let's see here, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. There's another parent that's inquiring about the login to be able to monitor their son's progress.
Oh, yeah.
So while you pull that student up, I can share my screen.
Yeah, just go right to the girl with the purple hair. That's what we call it, the girl with the purple hair. We have eDynamics, which is Buzz, the Buzz. And then we have the Florida virtual site, which we call the girl with the purple hair.
So sorry, I had this page open, that's why it's there. But you would go, so there's actually directions on our school website. If I'm just gonna go back to the homepage, so I can guide you how to get there. So, second.
How young they were.
Oh.
That's why I was trying to.
Yeah, if you just go to the VSA website, I'll show you.
Yeah, there, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, maybe I can't go there. Let's go.
Just type in VSA.
Oh, my keyboard.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right, you're right. Okay, here we go. Hold right here, hold the phone. This is it right here. If you're looking for a parent guardian account, you're on the website with the girl with the purple hair, click new parent guardian. Go ahead. Now, you will need your students' login information. If you already have an account, you can link multiple kiddos to your one account. You can do that. If you don't yet have an account, so click no, assuming they don't, then you have to indicate your student's user's name and password. And there's just a few other prompts to go through, and then bada boom, bada bing. You got yourself a login, and what I just showed you is exactly what you see as a parent. Remember what I said, it's live. There's one difference between a parent account and a student account. Only one difference. Student work cannot be submitted in a parent account. That's the difference. Otherwise, identical.
And there's a video on what I was trying to access is our school's website, because there is a video that it goes through the whole process that you can see. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
So I actually have to leave because I have a family thing to do. So they're gonna take over. So hopefully we see you guys in January.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being our Vanna White for a while. All All right, let me share my screen again. Let me take this back over. And I'm going to briefly show you an elementary class, just in case we've got a family with a younger student. So again, I am in that virtual school account. When I scroll down, ta-da, all the courses are here for that elementary student. Now this one I wanted to purposely show you because this is a grade 5 student, but notice how she has worked diligently and she's working at an accelerated rate and she's actually taking 6th grade math. So she already finished 5th grade math. She didn't skip it. She did it. She completed 5th grade math and she has now moved into 6th grade math. Again, with Lee Virtual School, it allows a student to move and demonstrate mastery of content through the course quicker, which allows them, if they want, to move into that next course within their progression. It's a choice. We do not require that. We follow a student's lead. We're going to give you what we know you have to have. You do with it. You can move as quickly as you want, as long as you are mastering the content. I look at the chat box. That's fantastic. You're right. You're absolutely right. Some students don't want to give up their login. Some students don't want to do that. So let's hop in and take a look at a 5th grade elementary course. Let's just go in and look at social studies here. That was awesome. Okay, so here's a 5th grade student. Again, notice announcement page is identical. We've got Mrs. Carter's picture at the top. We've got her phone number. So there's not any question about how to get in touch with her. It's right here on the page. Not a problem.
She has a very nice page too.
We've got her pace chart right here, front and center. Here are her live lesson schedule. It's predictable. You can make your schedule around it. I'm going to scroll down just a little more. She's got her own special website with her resources, more resources. Oh, recordings. When teachers do their live lessons, they are required to record them and make them available. So if for some reason today at 1 o'clock, maybe I had an appointment and I couldn't attend that live lesson, but the information is valuable, I can go back and I can watch the recording. Lots of great resources. Again, identical to middle school and high school. And then if I just squeeze up here to jump into this gradebook, I want you to see gradebook is identical. Consistency, it's consistent, K through 5. If you have a course on the Florida virtual platform, it's consistent. If it's on eDynamics, it looks very similar. It's consistent. She's moving along. All right. Lessons. Jumping into a lesson. Continues to be very reading based at the elementary level. We do know that students at the elementary level cannot be left to their own devices on their device. At the elementary level, we do require a learning guide. We require all of our elementary students, especially kindergarten through 3rd grade, to have a full-time learning guide who will work with them. Students at that point are learning how to read. Remember, this is a reading-based curriculum. You're not logging into a teacher. You're not listening to it read to them. So at the elementary level, we do require that student to partner with a learning guide, whether that's a parent, a grandparent, an uncle, a friend. Somebody needs to be, and it needs to be consistent every single day. Please do not ask your older student to be your younger student's learning guide. Your older student, as you now see, has a lot on their plate. They're turning in 12, 15 assignments a week. They don't have time to also be the learning guide for your second grader, for example. So at the elementary level, when you're considering Leave Virtual, you really need to talk seriously about who will be my student's learning guide? Who will my student work with every day in order to make sure they are working in their lessons, they're understanding, they're following the pace chart, they're turning in those assignments. So I'm just going to scroll down, open up one of them. Again, layout is similar. All the lessons are right here. We just simply work in order according to our pace chart. Okay, you can see mainly reading based. We have activities on the page, but your student is doing a lot of independent reading. This is a 5th grade course. So you're going to read, do the activities. Also notice this particular lesson is 10 pages. 10 pages. That's a lot of time spent engaged in learning. Again, that's why our students perform so well. When you're finished, move to the next page, you continue. Reading, you might have an activity to do, and you continue. I'm going to jump to the very last page because that's where we always find our assignment. What is my assignment? Again, just like the other courses, it's all laid out right here in front of you, and you submit your assignments in the grade book. So whenever we're talking about Leave Virtual School, some of the hot button topics for families is pacing. A lot of people think, oh, it's virtual, I can work at my own pace. Well, not really. Each day, you make your schedule in your house how you need it to be in the privacy of your own home. But by Friday, those week's assignments are due. They're due Friday at 4. You reserve the right to work the weekend, to work and get ahead. But we don't want you to get in the habit of using the weekend to get caught up. Also, if for some reason by Friday you didn't turn the assignment in, that assignment still has to be turned in. You now carry that into the next week. So now you're trying to complete 2 weeks at once. So we tell students, please, in the beginning, just start working so that you stay on pace every single week. When students end up falling behind, that's really where they struggle. And that December 17th end date, that's the end date. So we want you to stay on pace. And we're available to help. You know where all your resources are. We want you to be successful. We don't want you to suffer in silence. But we also want you to build that confidence, develop that voice, advocate for your needs, and be able to engage in the kind of learner that you are. So I'm going to pause for just a second. And while I jump out of the screen, I'm going to see if Dr. Iovine has anything that she wants to add to the conversation. And I'll look at the chat box and then we'll start to wrap this up. So Dr. Iovine, anything you'd like to share real quick?
No, I just wanted to find out, the grade level and the students that we had in our families, just to get that connection to see what level and which students that we had here with us.
So does anybody want to share now what grade level they're in?
And we have some great questions that have been answered. Oh,
8th grade. Okay.
Great.
We've got an 8th grader. Okay. Let's see what else. Let's see what else.
Now, Braden, is this your first year with us, or were you with us last year? Okay, you're going, yes, okay.
Yep.
Miss Berry knows.
Yeah. Yep. And Brian's in 6th grade.
Okay, so we've got middle schoolers.
Well, middle schoolers, yep. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Actually, yeah. Yep. Do we have any high school students in the audience? Okay, maybe not. Maybe our,
That's okay.
yeah, maybe our audience is more.
So middle
elementary
school's
and middle.
taking the lead
Okay.
tonight.
All right. So then I'm gonna jump into my last part of the conversation, yeah, exactly. He's doing a high school math course, correct. Yeah, he's doing Algebra 1. So
Yes.
he's a middle schooler taking high school courses. You know,
An
so-
advanced middle schooler, accelerated, one of our top students.
Yeah, Braden, are you also taking like high school hope or digital infotech in addition to your algebra? Oh, okay.
Oh. Well, thank you, Mom.
Again, one of the advantage to Leave Virtual is like I said before, we can work with elementary families to take middle school courses. We can work with middle school students to take high school courses. And of course, at the high school level, our students can take part in dual enrollment in, you know, AP. And so
And Mom says he's taking
his reading.
Okay,
Yep, his
excellent.
reading. Yep, that's his iReady reading.
Mhm.
So, all right. I'm going to round this out with addressing two audiences. Our first will be the existing virtual students to ensure that if you like where you're at and you want to remain with us for semester 2, what that process looks like. And the other audience, number 2 scenario is if you want to make a transition and have a different school in January. And that means you could be a Leave Virtual student now, but for semester 2, you want to be at a brick and mortar, or you could be at a brick and mortar school now, and for semester 2, you want to be with Leave Virtual. So I'm going to walk you through that process. Let's address first the student who is with Leave Virtual now and wants to stay with Leave Virtual for semester 2. You do nothing. We will maintain your enrollment until you tell us otherwise. So you don't have to fill out a form. You don't have to do a survey.
No
We assume
application.
no application. Yeah, we assume that no news is good news
Mhm.
and that you want to stay with us. So Mom, if Braden's going to stay with us for semester 2, then you don't need to do anything. We will make sure that within his virtual account, we get him registered for segment 2 of those courses. We'll take care of that for you behind the scenes. If you have a student who, again, is currently virtual, but wants to go brick and mortar, or is brick and mortar and wants to go virtual, this is what you got to do. Oh, where'd it go? Hold on. I got to get there. I'm gonna move this. Thinking about it. Come on, don't fail me now. We've been getting along real well today, Google Chrome. Uh-oh, maybe I'm not gonna show you.
But you can hear. You might
Yeah,
not be able to see it, but you can.
I can walk you through it verbally. So you're going to start off at the leeschools.net website, which is of course the main website for the school district. Let me see if I can.
Is
get
it on, also, is it on the students? It's probably not on the students' lunch.
I
don't
don't
know if
know.
it's
That's
on
a
the-
good question.
I don't know if it's on their Chromebook. It might not be.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is or not. Let's try one more time. Well, your leeschools.net, when you're on the main school district page, you will see a tab that says Our Schools. Our Schools. You're going to hover over that. You're going to scroll down to another tab that says Enroll in Schools. And then from there, you're looking for a little box that says Waivers. And all of the information is located right there. within the waiver. Let me type that in the chat box for you really quick. So step number 1, leeschools.net. Step number 2, hover over our school. Step number 3, click on enroll in school. Step number 4, scroll down. To locate the box that's labeled waivers. And in that box, you will see the paperwork that will address transferring. And you just fill those documents out, submit those documents to student enrollment, and they will do the rest. All of the documents get emailed to student enrollment at leeschools.net. And that's the process for it. It's a pretty easy step-by-step process. Now in the chat box, I saw one question. They want to know about dual enrollment. So Lee Virtual, as a public school in Lee County, we do offer dual enrollment. Again, just like any other high school, we do too. Our articulation agreements are with Florida Southwestern State College, Florida Gulf Coast University, Fort Myers Technical College, and Cape Coral Technical College. So those are the 4 sites. They each have unique entrance requirements that students have to meet. Usually those entrance requirements do require SAT or ACT scores, and the student must, through those scores, indicate reading, writing, and math proficiency at a college level. So absolutely, your student absolutely could take part in dual enrollment. It could start as early as semester 2 of their 9th grade year, but most students wait to do dual enrollment until at least 10th grade, if not 11th grade. It really is based on the student's maturity and their ability to handle a college course in addition to their other Lee Virtual classes. So I don't ever want to put a student in a situation where they register for college classes when they are emotionally, mentally, maturity, they don't have the ability to engage with college professors, other college students, keep up with the rigor of college at the same time they're doing high school. So absolutely available. And
there's a GPA.
There's
GPA
requirement. So yep, it's definitely doable. And the high school counselor is Maria Baker, and she enjoys talking about dual enrollment. It's, you could in 9th grade start discussing dual enrollment. It's always good to start planning, where your goals are, where do you see yourself, and then she can lay out the groundwork so that your student knows exactly what he or she has to do to achieve that goal, because it really does come down to your student. It's your student's grade point average. It's the student's SAT score. So it's really all about making sure that the student is informed of what they have to do to follow that process. Great question. And I'm awfully sorry that all of a sudden this website just does not want to load.
Yeah.
It does not want to load. So before we wrap up, do we have any final questions in that chat box? Spinning away.
I don't see any questions. You did very well though, Ms. Berry. Great presentation.
Thank you. Thank
Great
you.
questions.
Mhm.
Well, if we don't have any other questions or comments, I want to thank you for taking this time out this evening. I know how busy, families are, students are, but we are so happy that we were able to provide this for you, this opportunity, and cannot wait to hear or see some of you in the very near future. Thank you. and good night.
Yep, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.